10 goes for a couple yards to Squally, Canada. Trojans 5-1 this year. They are undefeated in league play so far, 3-0. They've had tremendous success over the years with their head coach Kelly King, along with Los Gatos and Paly, always right at the top of the standings in the Danza division of the SCVAL. As you see the huddle, it just continuing to move forwards. Yeah, you know what's fascinating? I don't remember seeing an offense that was so determined not to throw the ball. It doesn't even occur to them to go by the air. And you look statistically, it's been almost 50-50 this season, Eric.
Well, I wonder what they do when they start losing, because do you really run the ball when you're down 14, something like that? You know, actually, it's interesting because the most this team has ever been down by is 24 in their loss against Valley Christian, which is actually
really that was the only negative game they've had the entire year.
Yeah, every other game has just been a tremendous success for them.
Last week at Santa Clara, Mipitas convincingly won 56-7 the week before. For their homecoming game, they won 54-14 over Saratoga. Their first game of the year at home, they defeated Woodside 50-6. So, yeah, close games. They don't have a whole lot of experience in that regard. You're right, that one defeated season.
Maybe that's when they switch out their quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those types of games have the types of scores where just every offensive drive you score.
Although I have to say, I am surprised because you were talking about before the game, the players warming up, and I was watching this Ronnie Reed throw, and man, he's got an arm.
I saw him. That's what's impressing me, and it's almost like I feel like we're going to see Mipitas change a little bit. That they wanted to give this look to Paly, and then they're going to throw a little bit of a diversion in a way. Oh, yeah, we actually do throw the football also. As we've reached the end of the first quarter. Well, when you have this much running, those 12 minutes go by in about 13 minutes. And after the first quarter of play here at Andre Field in Palo Alto on homecoming Friday, the Vikings lead the Trojans 7-6.
Yeah, and what a great night here in Palo Alto. I was going to say it was almost colder in September than it is now here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Maybe it's just the barbecue that is tearing out on us.
You feel the warmth of the barbecue?
Oh, yeah. I can smell it, too.
I definitely can smell it. It's driving me nuts. As you see Steve Bono, the quarterback's coach of the Vikings, talking with Keller Christ. Oh, what camera work there, as you can look from the players' perspective at us here in the stands and high atop Padre Field in the press row.
We sure do have an awesome crew.
We have the best seat in the house here. We're the only ones here with the television as well. A lot of the fans like to ask us, did it look like there was was that the correct call or whatnot? But then they can't remember that we have our headsets on and we can't hear them. I'm Trevor Felch alongside Eric Leroy as we begin the second quarter of play here from Palo Alto, California. 7-6 Vikings have the lead. A first down on that carry for the Mipitas Trojans. Boy, some of my fondest memories from high school. I actually went to high school at that other high school here in Palo Alto called Gunn. But homecoming was always my favorite week of the year. I always, as the public address announcer, the football games, loved talking about the
Is it because it was the only game you guys won?
Yeah, that wasn't always the case, actually. And it wasn't first down, by the way. There was 3rd and 1.
I was actually
Kim
announcing
on the carry, almost there, and it looks like no gain on the play brings up 4th and 1 here for the Trojans.
I actually announced the Gun homecoming game this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we covered it. It was actually a really good game. And,
here on the Palo Alto Media Center?
Yeah,
we broadcast that game?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was actually by myself. It was
when was that?
daunting. It's about a month ago now.
They had homecoming a month ago? Huh. I am getting old. Well, it is 4th and short, and the Trojans will punt it away. Keyshawn Johnson back at his own 40-yard line. Ooh, a booming punt. Get out of the way if you're the Vikings. Almost hit Justin Hull. Rolls out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And that is where the Viking offense will begin with a 7-6 lead and 10:36 to go in the second quarter. So you got to see the whole halftime spectacular. With,
it was fun.
The floats, the homecoming court.
Yeah. It was a great night because the gun crowd. There was actually a lot of people that showed up for the game. And Gun won too, so it was fun to watch. I'm
still bitter that I was not a member of the homecoming court, despite many seasons where I would always narrate the homecoming court options. I always dreamed of being able to have somebody talk about me as I talked about other people, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. I'll get over it one day. As Malcolm Davis on first down, picks up 6 yards on the carry. Brings up 2nd and 4 and coming up, but as I was going to mention, Eric, you were talking about the one game of the year Gun usually wins. I think it was my freshman year at Gun. They had Los Gatos as the opponent. And this is when Los Gatos was like a top 5 team. And a guy named Trent Edwards, who went on to be the quarterback at Stanford and in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, the Raiders, is Chris under pressure. Going the wrong way. Throws it and it's caught. And they actually will get yardage out of this. Andrew Frick with the catch. How did they not bring down Chris? And how did he make a play out of it? And in the end, it's a 2-yard positive yardage pickup on the completion to Frick up to the 39-yard line and a 3rd and 2.
Not only is he avoiding players, but he's also looking at his own players.
And he darts forwards on his own. Kellen Chris with the quarterback sneak, a first down, and he just keeps going. He keeps going forwards this time for positive yardage across midfield and a Viking first down into Trojan territory.
Well, when you have the momentum, you got to have some fun.
Oh, and the ball was knocked loose. I didn't even notice that, and Givens alertly recovered it. That's the Vikings.
Oh, Keller Chris
just
he doesn't usually
another
drop the
chapter.
ball.
I tell you, 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line. And the handoff on 1st and 10 goes for a couple yards to Squally, Canada. Trojans 5-1 this year. They are undefeated in league play so far, 3-0. They've had tremendous success over the years with their head coach Kelly King, along with Los Gatos and Paly, always right at the top of the standings in the Danza division of the SCDAL. As you see the huddle, it just continuing to move forwards. What's fascinating, I don't remember seeing an offense that was so determined not to throw the ball. It doesn't even occur to them to go by the air. And you look statistically, it's been almost 50-50 this season, Eric.
Well, I wonder what they do when they start losing, because do you really run the ball when you're down 14, something like that? Actually, it's interesting because the most this team has ever been down by is 24 in their loss against Valley Christian, which is actually
really that was the only negative game they've had the entire year.
Yeah, every other game has just been a tremendous success for them.
Last week at Santa Clara, Mipitas convincingly won 56-7 the week before. For their homecoming game, they won 54-14 over Saratoga. Their first game of the year at home, they defeated Woodside 50-6. So, yeah, close games. They don't have a whole lot of experience in that regard. You're right, that one defeated season.
Maybe that's when they switch out their quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those types of games have the types of scores where just every offensive drive you score.
Although I have to say, I am surprised because you were talking about before the game, the players warming up, and I was watching this Ronnie Reed throw, and man, he's got an arm.
I saw him. That's what's impressing me, and it's almost like I feel like we're going to see Mipitas change a little bit. That they wanted to give this look to Paly, and then they're going to throw a little bit of a diversion in a way. Oh, yeah, we actually do throw the football also. As we've reached the end of the first quarter. Well, when you have this much running, those 12 minutes go by in about 13 minutes. And after the first quarter of play here at Andre Field in Palo Alto on Homecoming Friday, the Vikings lead the Trojans 7-6.
Yeah, and what a great night here in Palo Alto. You know, I was going to say it was almost colder in September than it is now here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Maybe it's just the barbecue that is tearing out on us.
You feel the warmth of the barbecue?
Oh, yeah. I can smell it, too.
I definitely can smell it. It's driving me nuts. As you see Steve Bono, the quarterback's coach of the Vikings, talking with Keller Christ. Oh, what camera work there, as you can look from the players' perspective at us here in the stands in high atop Padre Field in the press row.
We sure do have an awesome crew.
We have the best seat in the house here. We're the only ones here with the television as well. A lot of the fans like to ask us, you know, did it look like there was was that the correct call or whatnot? But then they can't remember that we have our headsets on and we can't hear them. I'm Trevor Felch alongside Eric Leroy as we begin the second quarter of play here from Palo Alto, California. 7-6 Vikings have the lead. A first down on that carry for the Mipitas Trojans. Boy, some of my fondest memories from high school. I actually went to high school at that other high school here in Palo Alto called Gunn. But homecoming was always my favorite week of the year. As the public address announcer, the football games, loved talking about the
Is it because it was the only game you guys won?
Yeah, that wasn't always the case, actually. And it wasn't first down, by the way. There was 3rd and 1.
I was actually
Kim
announcing.
on the carry, almost there, and it looks like no gain on the play brings up 4th and 1 here for the Trojans.
I actually announced the Gun homecoming game this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we covered it. It was actually a really good game. And,
here on the Palo Alto Media Center?
Yeah,
we broadcast that game?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was actually by myself. It was
when was that?
daunting. It's about a month ago now.
They had homecoming a month ago? Huh. I am getting old. Well, it is 4th and short, and the Trojans will punt it away. Keyshawn Johnson back at his own 40-yard line. Ooh, a booming punt. Get out of the way if you're the Vikings. Almost hit Justin Hull and rolls out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And that is where the Viking offense will begin with a 7-6 lead and 10:36 to go in the second quarter.
You know,
so you got to see the whole halftime spectacular.
Yeah, you know, it was fun.
The floats, the homecoming court.
Yeah. You know, it was a great night because, you know, the gun crowd. There was actually a lot of people that showed up for the game. And Gun won too, so it was fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
I'm still bitter that I was not a member of the homecoming court, despite many seasons where I would always narrate the homecoming court options. I always dreamed of being able to have somebody talk about me as I talked about other people, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. I'll get over it one day. As Malcolm Davis on first down, picks up 6 yards on the carry. Brings up 2nd and 4 coming up, but as I was going to mention, Eric, you were talking about the one game of the year Gun usually wins. I think it was my freshman year at Gun. They had Los Gatos as the opponent. And this is when Los Gatos was like a top 5 team. And a guy named Trent Edwards, who went on to be the quarterback at Stanford and in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, the Raiders, is Chris under pressure. Going the wrong way, throws it and it's caught. And they actually will get yardage out of this. Andrew Frick with the catch. How did they not bring down Kristen? How did he make a play out of it? And in the end, it's a 2-yard positive yardage pickup on the completion to Frick up to the 39-yard line and a 3rd and 2.
I mean, we can draw the X's and O's in our head, but not everyone would know what we were talking about. I mean, if we had that little board, we could draw everything. We could show you guys really what's happening in this game, the inside, the outside of this game. And they're going for it on 4th and 21.
They are, and Keller Christ heaves it up, and that isn't even close. And looking for Keyshawn Johnson. Dwayne Jones was step for step with him, and so what looked like a very auspicious Palo Alto drive turned into no scoring whatsoever, and so Mipitas now, with a 21-18 deficit, will take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
I'm very, very surprised by that call, and I think
if you were Earl Hansen, you would have probably punted and
I
tried
would
to
have
pin
punted
Mipitas
because
deep.
yeah, the punter's kick. I mean, you would have been at the 45-yard line. Punter's kick about 40 yards in high school. You could have pinned him down on the 5. You've got quick guys on the wings, and I think you would definitely be down there, and you could have pinned him down easily.
Well, instead, beginning at their own 34-yard line, here come the Trojans and Mipitas. Handoff on 1st down to Squally Canada. Canada across the 40, picks up 7 to the 41-yard line. I'm Trevor Felch alongside Kunal Singh and our entire Palo Alto Media Center crew here at Hontre Field. Glad you could be with us on this Friday night, the final Friday of October, if you can believe that. 2nd down, shotgun for Reed. Pass is complete. Right side, Hartley, and he is dangerous. Watch out, 30, 20, 10, and all the way down to the Palo Alto 5-yard line.
I mean, that all started. I mean, they would have just had the pass. They had 3 defenders around there, but, I mean, they picked up a huge block from the wide receiver. If you can check out the replay here, you can see a huge block from number 27, the kicker. And, I mean, he definitely, I mean, kicker, that's a great block. And, honestly, that's what got him the extra 15, 20 yards on the play. The kicker reminds me of Eddie Lacy, the running back for the Packers. He's got the dreadlocks, wears number 27 in that old retro Packers jersey.
And almost untouched, Squally Canada walks into the end zone for the Mipitas touchdown. And the Trojans have the lead back.
I mean, that's too easy. Paly's run defense has not been too hard tonight. I mean, that was too easy. Walked it off like it's nothing. It's just another run for them. And I mean, that's great execution by them. And now they're actually attempting an extra point, believe it or not, because
they are 0 for 3 going into this.
They are. It is 24-21,
Williams.
and they need 1 point to.
And this is the real drama. That looks perfect.
No
Except
good.
Wide.
I think it just hooked left.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my goodness.
Had plenty of foot.
I think they need a new kicker. Put him permanently on wide receiver and get a new kicker. That is 0 for 4. He was untouched also.
This is incredible, Kunal. I mean,
I've never
have
seen
you ever seen a team 0 for 4 and trying to get an extra point?
They would be
unbelievable.
They would be up by more than a touchdown right now if they had made all their field goals. You give them 3 points, that's 27.
Yeah, instead all the Vikings need to tie it is a field goal. That's how far the Trojans have fallen.
Yeah, I think they've scored 4 touchdowns this game, and it feels like they have 3 and a field goal. It's a huge difference. If they had made the field goal, it would be 27, and you give them 4 extra points. That's 31 points, and they've got a 10-point lead. Right now, you're looking at a field goal lead, a touchdown. Paly takes the lead. That's huge.
Williams did kick off. He's been doing very well in the kickoffs, and he shows great distance in the field goal attempts. Here's his squib kick, recovered early by Charlie Oliveira. Speaking of, we saw some nice blocks by the Mipitas kicker. That was a nice catch by one of the Paly kickers, Oliveira, on the return. So good field position here for the Vikings. And they're only down by 3. By no means is this game close to over. So
I mean,
1st and 10, Keller Christ and Paly at the Viking 37.
I mean, all Paly needs to do is to do what they've been doing. Put the ball in the hands of Kelly Chris, maybe run the ball the first 2 downs and hope Chris can get you through there, because that's all they've been doing, and it's been working for a majority of the game.
Nowhere to go for Marcus Brown on the 1st down carry. 24-21 Mipitas, 10:40 to go here in the 4th quarter. You know, I was talking earlier how the Vikings are averaging only 111 rushing yards this season compared to 243 coming into the game receiving yards.
Yeah.
Just to give you a comparison to last season, as Chris passes wide of the intended target, Tilly McAllister, and just like that, it's 3rd and 10. Last year alone, Matt Tolbert, their star senior running back, averaged 105 yards per game.
Yep, almost just
So,
6 yards less than the whole team
almost-
rushes for this year. That's a huge
It's
loss.
remarkable.
I mean, if you look at the amount of yards Mipitas has run the ball this year, this game, practically everything has been on the ground. They've had maybe 2 or 3 passes that have been completed. One that went for a big gain, but everything's been on the ground.
And Christ is going the wrong way.
That,
Sacked way
yeah.
back at the 20-yard line, a loss of over 15, and it's 4th down.
This is the one thing I feel that Chris needs to improve the most on. I mean, you can't use the excuse. Well, you can to an extent that your offensive line isn't the best, but what Chris does is what'll happen is he'll roll out and then he'll go in a circle. He'll take a nice 180-degree turn and he'll go the other way, but it's not a sharp turn. He goes out wide for another 7 yards, and I mean, what
That
can you
was
do
almost
about
blocked.
that? Yeah.
Well, Mipitas will get really good field position. They almost had a touchdown there on that blocked punt attempt by David, no, we don't have a number 88 on their roster. But nonetheless, that could have been terrible for Paly, but the Trojans really can make this almost out of reach of the Vikings with a nice long scoring drive here.
I mean, this game, I feel, has almost been, it's going to be decided off special teams. I mean, you had a run back for Mipitas, which is not counted. That's huge. You've had Mipitas miss a field goal and 3 extra points. That's huge. I mean, it's going to be special teams in the end.
Reed starts off under center with 3 backs. Handoff to Savion Black. Picks up 2 yards to the 45-yard line. I think we'll be seeing a little bit more rushing here from the Trojans. Exactly.
And they're going back to this shore running formation. The shore running formation gets them 3 yards almost at least every carry.
Guaranteed,
They line up. They line up with 3 big running backs in the back. Quarterback sets one in motion, and I mean, it's hard to defend. It really is with their huge offensive line, big quarterback, big, fast, strong running backs. It's very hard to defend for them.
Now you can tell they are in no hurry to get the snaps off either. Hand off to the up back, and there's those guaranteed 3 to 5 yards, pushing the pile forwards to midfield. Right between
carry,
the P and the A.
That carry should be a 2-yard gain, if that, at most. But they're huge offensive line.
They are massive.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. They've got.
Tadil, if you just look at the height and weight comparisons.
I mean,
of
you've
the two
got.
teams.
I mean,
there are some guys who are 6'7", 330 pounds
Yep,
on
you've
that
got
roster.
6'3", 340,
NFL-like.
6'1", 310. These are huge players here.
Well, 3rd and 4, they're going to rush to the outside, and this is close. And the last effort there might have pushed Squally Canada beyond the 1st down marker. A little assistance there from one of his offensive linemen. That's close, though. Very, very close. I think, was that Tilly McAllister who met him right by the 47-yard line?
I believe
Looks
it
like
was.
we'll have a measurement.
They're going to call for the chains. I mean, you can never be too sure in this game. You got to always call for the chains, but I believe that second effort did get them the 1st down.
It's close, but I agree. I think he has it by about a half a yard.
Half a yard sounds about right.
7:50 to go in the 4th quarter. Mipitas 24, Palo Alto 21. This is a crucial game for the Vikings coming into tonight. They are 3-3.
And if you look at the roster, the sizes of the players, Paly has 1 player 280 pounds and over. They have 1 player that's exactly 280 pounds. And just looking down this roster, I see 330, 300, 340, 260. I mean, you've got some huge players on this team, and that's why their run game is so effective.
The measurement does indicate it's a 1st down Mipitas. So that's, 2-3 more minutes right there of the clock that the Trojans will be able to chew up. Last year's Milpitas victory, which also was here at Palo Alto. Strange that they're having back-to-back seasons here at Paly.
Yeah.
But the Trojans have 24 points right now. They won that game last year, 24-19.
Almost identical.
I just love it. I love these similarities. But the Trojans are hoping to score more than 24 as they hope to keep the clock winding down on this Viking team. And if Paly is unable to come back, boy, will they have a lot of second guessing and saying what ifs and squandering opportunities and these extra point gifts given to them.
Not being able to capitalize on
I'm
them.
sure we have some new viewers who are looking at that scoreboard saying, oh, 24. So Milpitas probably got 3 touchdowns and a field goal. No,
Exactly.
4 touchdowns, and they missed every one of those 4 extra points.
Yep.
2 point after kick attempts and
Yep.
2 2-point conversion attempts.
Not to mention a missed field goal from about
Yes,
30,
that's
32
right.
yards out. I mean, first time he made it, second time he was iced on the first time, second time it was blocked. I mean, what timeouts can do for you in football, it's endless
It
possibilities.
is. Well, Paly has a big third down opportunity here to try and make a stop. 3rd and 5 Trojans, ball at the 42-yard line of Palo Alto. Quarterback Ronnie Reed will operate under center. Now a flag down on the play. This might be a false start against Milpitas. Either way, it's going against the Trojans, I think.
All their players backing up, it's got to be against them.
Indeed, it is a false start penalty. So now you face a 3rd and 10. You think Milpitas will elect to pass? They haven't even been considering throwing the ball on the past few plays.
Maybe they'll.
But now they might have to.
Yep, maybe they'll take a shot at 3rd and 10.
Like, the 4 receivers set. 2 split wide to each side. Reed out of the shotgun. The lone back is Canada to Reed's right.
On these long thirds down, they have thrown the ball, and it's been quite effective. The secondary of Paly hasn't been able to stop them.
No, it's a draw play. Canada up the middle, and he will not get the first down.
I mean, no, the only reason I can think about them running the ball is being scared of an incomplete pass. The quarterback, if he hasn't completed a pass, it's always been incomplete. There's been no deflections, nothing, no interceptions, nothing. So, I mean, if it was an incomplete pass, then the clock would have stopped, and now they can chew up about another 30, 40 seconds on the clock.
Mike Granty with the initial stop there for the Vikings. A big stop, too, and here you go. 4th down and 6. Trojans will punt it away. Andrew Williams in punt formation. From his own 46-yard line, fair catch called for. Keyshawn Johnson gets out of the way and lets it take a very favorable Milpitas bounce, and it will go all the way down to the 5-yard line. Challenging field position for Keller Twist and the Viking offense.
Their punts, I mean, special teams again, if you see them, all the balls are just rolling down inside the 15, inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. It's been great, honestly. They've had the rolls this game. I mean, they haven't quite had the field goal. They haven't had the goalpost on their side, but they've had the field, the turf on their side.
So here we are, 5:07 to go in the 4th quarter. Milpitas leads Palo Alto 24-21. The Vikings starting deep in their own territory. A field goal could tie it. A touchdown could get the lead and possibly win it. On 1st down, Chris rolling right, buying time, throws, intercepted. Intercepted by Dwayne Jones of Milpitas, and he returns it back to the Palo Alto 13-yard line. A dagger to the Vikings.
That's huge, but it's not. It's big, but it's not huge. I'll say it that way. If Milpitas can't punch in the ball, I do not think their field goal unit can make it. I mean, if you look at it, you could have 2 minutes left, get the ball back after a missed field goal, march right down the field. You've got 2 timeouts. Chris could nail the field. I mean, kicker Fogarty could nail the field goal. The game would be tied up. You're going into overtime on homecoming night with the home crowd behind your back, and I think they could definitely pull that off.
You're really looking into the future there.
I am. It's a little
in the
prediction.
present right now.
Yeah.
The Palo Alto faithful are shocked over a Keller Christ interception in a situation like that.
Look
The
at that.
first down carry. Squally Canada dragged out of bounds.
That is a mistake, getting out of bounds. You
Yeah, I
could've-
know, you can't do that
I
if
mean,
you're
that's
Mipitas.
such a risky move. I mean, not risky, but just flat out bad move. I mean, 20, 30 seconds extra off the clock is now stopped. The clock is stopped with 4:50, and it could be 4:30, 4:20
Absolutely.
when you're running that next play. But nope, went out of bounds too quick.
And only a pickup of 2 on the play now. Second down and 8. Ball at the 12-yard line. They're going to make sure they're not running out of bounds there as Savion Black runs up the middle. Handful of yards there on the gain. Stopped by Palo Alto's Chioki Bryant Anderson. 3rd and 6, and as Video was saying, big 3rd down stop here. 3rd and 7 on the Paly defense. That could set up a field goal opportunity if Mipitas would even try. And that's totally up for discussion. I don't know if they would. We'll see. It's not over yet.
Definitely not over yet. Now they're just getting into formation as late as possible and running the ball.
And a fumble on the handoff to Squally Canada. And of course, that type of thing could happen. You never can forecast that. It does appear Mipitas recovered it. Yep, recovered by the Trojans. Boy, that could have been really entertaining.
And now what do
Paly
you do?
recovered that. Yes,
Now it's a
now it's
decision.
decision time.
Do you run the ball with 7 yards to go and give Paly the ball back with, say,
Well, let's
2
see if
minutes,
it's a
50
field
seconds
goal,
left.
and now Paly will call a timeout to let Mipitas ponder over this decision a little longer. Well, so the ball is at the 11-yard line of Paly. It's 4th and 7.
It's about a 20, 27, 30-yard field goal from here.
Yeah, I'd say about 20, 28, 29. You've got a kicker who hasn't even made an extra point in this game.
He has made a field goal, but it did not count.
Yes.
It was iced. Maybe you see if they bring out the field
But
goal
even
unit,
if
you
you
try to
make
ice
a
it again.
field goal, then yes, you're up by 6, but a touchdown still could win it for Paly.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go for it here.
I would.
I
I
would
would
go
run
for
the
it.
ball right up the middle like they have been all game. Maybe get a push
Yeah, now
from
I
the
wouldn't have
offensive
enough.
line.
I would have enough faith that we can overpower the Paly offense and
Oh, yeah.
just keep driving forwards at least for the first down, or at this point,
And
maybe
also,
even more.
yeah, this deep in Paly's territory, you're gonna have to pull together a great drive at the end of the game if they even want to pull this off and get in field goal range. So this is a huge play right here.
3:31 to go in the 4th quarter. 4th down and 7 from the 11-yard line of Paly. Reed operates out of the shotgun. Motion from right to left. There's a flag down. Right as Reed takes the snap. We'll hear what the officials have to say.
Believe
Was
that
it movement?
I think it was. No, I don't think it was movement. If it was a movement, I think it was an illegal man in motion, or the man didn't set. He came out of the backfield, and I think they snapped the ball too
Or
early.
illegal
yeah.
substitution.
Is that- yeah, something
is the
like that.
call.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't see anyone jump.
Well, I don't. Despite the 5 more yards back for Mipitas, I don't think this will affect their decision to go for it or
Yeah.
not. It now brings up 4th and 11 from the 16-yard line.
And I believe the clock should start running. They should have had a no. That's only under 2 minutes. They have a 10-second runoff.
Yep, 3:29 to go. Out of the shotgun. Reed looks left, throws left. One-on-one coverage. Up in the air. It's a jump ball. It's either an interception for a touchback or a touchdown. And it is indeed an interception. Picked off by Palo Alto's Sversky Oliver in the end zone for a touchback. Either way, it's a turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 20. Look at that jump ball. It could have been a touchdown as much as an interception. But Oliver Sversky takes it away from the Mipitas receiver.
That reminded me just of the Seahawks-Packers game, that last Hail Mary. Put the ball up. It's a 50-50 shot from the ref. I mean, it could have gone either way, honestly. That was a jump ball. They both had the hand on the ball, but I do believe it was Paly's ball. The defender had the ball on it.
As you know, just
first.
like in that Seahawks-Packers case, when in doubt, call goes to the home team. First and 10 of the 20. Chris drops back, throws near side, and the throw is short, but Johnson comes back and makes the catch. One official, though, is saying the ball hit the ground and overrules the other receiver, and another official saying, no, the ball hit the ground. Earl Hansen is livid over there, saying, you've got to be kidding me. Well, the call on the field is an incomplete pass.
I mean, that's a tough break if one. That's why in the NFL you have a challenge flag, and that's the time you would pull that challenge flag. But that's just a tough call. But at least the clock stops.
We are the only people in the house who have the luxury of replay
That's
here.
true.
So
no jumbotron.
We'll take a look.
Yeah.
We're the only ones who can know if it was correct or not. We'll get a replay here in a few moments probably. Now a flag down. Prior to the snap, did one of the Trojans jump off sides?
I believe that was number 56, Tavita Musica, or Monet Fokiti.
Indeed, the call goes against the Trojan defense. Not something they can do here. It's crunch time. It is gift wrapping 5 yards for the Vikings. 3:16 to go in the fourth. Now 2nd and 5, Paly. 5-step drop for Christ and connects first down. Out across the 30 to the 36-yard line. That's Justin Hull. First down, Palo Alto. And they're moving the chains. Hurry up offense here for the Vikings. Trailing by 3, 24-21 Mipitas. Quick drop for Christ, and the pass is caught to Eli Gibbons. And Gibbons looks like he might be shaken up after being brought down at the first down. Sort of feeling his lower back area. May have had a helmet to that area. We'll see on the replay. Boy, on that pass looked like Chris almost tripped himself.
Oh yeah, I mean these
back.
Paly defenders have been getting popped all day by by
Chris
Mipitas.
back to pass. Pass is complete to Keyshawn Johnson coming back towards Chris on the near side. Gain of 8 to the Mipitas 44-yard line.
And the ref
8-yard gain.
The ref did say he did get out of bounds, so
Well, I think it's just for the ball placement. Now the clock starts again inside 2:40 to go. Paly only has 1 timeout remaining. Mipitas has all 3. Keep that in mind. And on 2nd and 2, back goes Chris. In the rush, rolling right, throws off his back foot, has a man, overthrows. Eli Gibbons looking downfield and man-to-man coverage with Dwayne Jones. And that will bring up a 3rd and 1 at the 43 with 2:26 left in the 4th.
Paly still has 2 minutes and 26 seconds of clock to burn. I feel like on the 2nd and 1, they could have surprised the defense with a quick run play and burned some more clock. I feel like that would have been the smarter approach to it with 2:26 and a timeout left, but can never be sure with the clock.
Well, they line up here with a 3 receivers set and 1 back, and Frick, deep drop for Chris. Here comes the blitz. Pass is caught by Frick, but for a loss, and then he breaks free. First down and more down the sideline. Inside the 10, 5. Touchdown.
Unreal. That is so good.
And the Vikings have the lead.
You check out the replay here. Great little screenplay, but they read the screenplay beautifully. How did he get out of that?
Not get brought down there by Colt Poffenbarger.
I think I'm going to call him Houdini from now on.
That's more than a missed tackle.
I think you should put that on SportsCenter's top 10 right there. That is an unreal play.
That a great block there by Keyshawn Johnson at the end to give him the additional 15 yards for the touchdown. And stunning turn of events. What looked like would be 4th down, and there's an ugly play there for the 3rd down completion of Frick. Becomes a 43-yard touchdown pass to retake the lead. The point after is good by Fogarty, and the Vikings are back in the lead with 2:13 to go in the 4th quarter. 28-24.
And now,
what a play.
Now if you look at the score of the game, 4 4 touchdowns for Mipitas, 4 missed extra points.
I'm not going to say anything on the extra point.
I mean, it should be 28-28 right now. Even 31-28 by the Trojans. That's unbelievable.
Well, Mipitas will have their opportunity now, and the ball now will be in the Paly defensive side to make a stop. We've seen them look impressive at times, and at others, the Mipitas offense has just rolled over them with ease. Squib kick over the middle, and it hops by Hartley. Picked up on a hop at the 8-yard line. Now moving in the right direction, out across the 10, 15, and spun down at the 19-yard line. Great special teams coverage led by John Martinez for the Vikings, along with Tully McAllister. 2:05 left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. So this is it, 28-24 Paly. All 3 timeouts for Mipitas, only 1 at the Vikings' disposal.
And now what Mipitas lacks is that great pass offense, and they have the tools. They have the tools on their team, but they haven't utilized those tools this game. They've been primarily a run first team, and I mean 2 minutes and 5 seconds, you can't run the ball right now.
They're lining up with a 4-receiver spread formation. Reed, pump fake, throws over the middle, incomplete. Looking for his favorite target, Trey Hartley. He's connected 11 times this year for touchdowns with Hartley. He would love to do so again on this drive. After the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line for the Trojans. Paly just really needs 3 stops, and they can win this thing somehow. I don't know how they would have done it, but it could happen. Shotgun for Reed. 3 receivers split wide to the left. Hartley, the lone receiver, to the right. Canada, the lone back to Reed's left. Running down the play clock. Quick drop pass caught by Hartley. Spins by 2 covermen. Has a first down. Out of bounds along the near sidelines at the 43-yard line of Mipitas.
I mean,
gets out of the bounds, stopping the clock with a bit of 51.
Everything went right for Mipitas on that play. First of all, they connected the pass. Second of all, they got a good chunk of yards on a first down. And third of all, the wide receiver got out of bounds. That's 3 out of 3 on the checklist right there. He couldn't have executed better, honestly.
2 missed tackles by the Vikings secondary aided Hartley's cause. Out of the shotgun, Reed back to pass, and he'll dump it off here to Canada. And look at him run. Canada, blazing speed, first down and more, and he's gone. 57 yards, touchdown Mipitas. Trojans take the lead with a minute 35 left.
Wow, that's nothing turning into something though. Canada was originally, if you look here, who was just blocking. That's
I thought Reed would just
he literally could have handed
quarterback keeper.
He literally could have handed the ball off there, and that's Chris Johnson. That's cheetah-like speed right there.
Sean Pike couldn't.
He truly just look at this.
Look at the speed. Just outrunning everybody.
Flew by everyone. That's unreal. So fast. And now this extra point is huge. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this is huge. If they make this, the field goal game, a field goal ties it. If they miss this, a field goal wins it for Paly.
Andrew Williams' point after is good. How about that?
Wow, never seen that this game.
After going 0 for 4 in extra point attempts, 0 for 2 in extra point field goals, 0 for 2 in 2-point conversions, the Trojans have finally conquered and converted an extra point. And they stun this home Paly crowd, retaking the lead with 1:35 to go in the fourth quarter at 31-28. And keep in mind, Paly only has 1 timeout remaining as well, so they will have to be very efficient.
But also keep in mind, quarterback for Paly's Kelly Christ. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It comes down to him, comes down to the route running, and the play calls. If they can get out of bounds on a lot of plays, if they can catch the ball, Chris can deliver in the clutch. I mean, Paly's got to get close. Definitely in field goal range if they can get a solid return here.
Tilly McAllister and Oliver Zversky back to receive. And it will be, or check that, Keyshawn Johnson on the near side from the zone 10. And he breaks free, has some room at the 40. Then at the 45-yard line and dragged down by Curtis Hicks. But an excellent return, or check that, that was Marlon on the return there. Not sure who that was. For the Vikings, either way, excellent field position for Keller Christ. 1:25 to go, and the Vikings are at their own 49-yard line. They only have to work with half the field.
I mean, that was huge. Half the field, got a minute 25, a timeout. Keller Christ as your quarterback. I mean, it looks good. I mean, not gonna lie, it doesn't look too dull for the Vikings right now.
Two receivers, one to the left, one to the right. Mipitas showing blitz, quick drop pass, a strike over the middle. That's complete to Justin Hull. Breaks free. Inside the 40, down to the 32-yard line. First down, Palo Alto moving the chains. Clock will stop momentarily and restart now under 1:19 to go. If Christ can orchestrate a comeback, this might be his finest hour with the Vikings of this season. Under pressure, trying to roll out of harm's way. Throws a dangerous pass, and luckily for Christ, it just makes its way to the sideline. Johnson was the closest receiver. Both Hartley and Poffenbarger on the Mipitas coverage.
That is a very gutsy play. Very gutsy play. Throwing that, I mean, your momentum's going the other way. You try to throw it back across the field out of bounds, and he's lucky he had enough juice on that play, on that throw.
Well, he also knew it could be really a big blow to the Vikings if he took the sack.
Oh, yeah.
That right there is almost 30 seconds you would lose, or you have to burn your final timeout,
and you would,
the Vikings could ill afford.
Loss of 10 yards at least.
Now it's 2nd and 10. The 32, quick drop pass is intercepted. Intercepted by Dwayne Jones, his second of the game, bringing it back into Paly territory, now crossing the field and brought down at the 34-yard line, and that is the ball game.
Wow, I mean,
heartbreaking conclusion for the Vikings, and the Trojans, by the thinnest of margins, will hold on and prevail on the road with a victory here at Palo Alto.
The only word to describe that play is miscommunication. If we could get a replay, that would be phenomenal, but I'm not sure if we could. If you look at the play, Chris throws the ball. The wide receiver still going. Doesn't even turn around.
And Jones just jumped the route.
Oh,
he knew it.
It's not even jumping. I think he even got beat on the route, but the ball just came right into hands like he was the receiver. That's just a tough miscommunication. You gotta have that. You gotta call plays when you're in the clutch. You gotta call plays that you know are gonna work. You know that the wide receiver and the quarterback are on the same page. And I don't know if that was the right play to play there. To call there. Excuse me.
All of the momentum there had shifted. It was going in the Vikings' direction. Christ was cruising. The Viking offense was looking primed to head to the end zone for a dramatic touchdown and a come-from-behind victory in the final seconds. But it was not meant to be. Paly has only one timeout, and it doesn't even look like they'll use it. All Mipitas will have to do is take one more knee, and they will escape out of Honvre Field with a victory and move to 4-0 in conference play and 6-1 overall on the season to top the SCVAL D'Angeli. Now a flag thrown, and it's Roddy Reed trying to take a knee here in the final seconds. Now this is a heartbreaker on homecoming night for the Vikings. They thought they had it. It kept moving back and forth here in the final seconds. Mipitas would look like they would have the lead, but then back came Paly, and then back came Mipitas, then back came Paly, and then Keller Christ throws an interception with just over a minute left. And that clinched the victory for Mipitas. The final score tonight in Palo Alto, the Mipitas Trojans 31 and the Palo Alto Vikings 28, in one of the closest games we'll certainly see this year.
I mean, that was a thriller. That was an absolute thriller. Came down to the last second. I mean, you would have honestly thought Chris, they got that drive. there, and they would have won that game. But I mean, they came back right with that quick little play, and they won the game right there in that one play.
And I can't remember the last season where after the first 7 games of the year, Paly was under 500. But with this loss, they down dropped to 3-4 on the season, and only one more home game remaining as well. So things not looking so positive for Paly in terms of CCS playoff outlook.
They're not looking as good as they have. Paly fans, Paly players have been spoiled in the past. They've had Threat at the running back and Chris at the quarterback, and now it's simply him. He's been trying to orchestrate the offense all along. And I mean, without that star running back as they had last year, I don't think Paly's fans are as happy, and neither is the team. It's just they're under 500, and it's a tough blow for them.
And yet they were so close. They were just 32 yards in 1 minute there in the fourth quarter from sparking one of the great comebacks in the storied career of Keller Christ at Palo Alto, but it just wasn't quite meant to be on homecoming nonetheless.
Oh yeah, that's even tougher when it's on homecoming night and you lose in that kind of fashion. It's just tough.
So with this victory, the Mipitas Trojans moved to 6-1 overall on the season. Palo Alto falls to 3-4. Our next broadcast here on the Palo Alto Media Center is Paly volleyball on Thursday night of next week, Halloween night. And then our next football broadcast is 2 weeks from tonight on Friday night, November the 8th, for the final Palo Alto home game of the season. That will be senior night, the final home game for Keller Chris. That obviously will be a very emotional, important game. Another sellout crowd, I can imagine. And the Los Gatos Wildcats will be here too, so very competitive as always. Great little rivalry there between Paly and Los Gatos. So we look forward to joining you for those upcoming broadcasts. Again, the final score here from Andre Field in Palo Alto. The Mipitas Trojans defeat the Palo Alto Vikings in a thriller by a final of 31-28. Now for Kanil Singh and all of our wonderful Palo Alto Media Center crew, led by executive producer Chuck Alley, I'm Trevor Felch. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll see you again on Halloween night. Now from Andre Field.